Ladies and gentlemen, something is happening and William Ruto is worried. RIGATHI GACHAGUA is taking Maasai land by a storm.
Tuko DCP! Wapi kura DCP? Kole hii ama yamagainetab kandoindet kisil murenik ine kochei komie.
Recently, RIGATHI GACHAGUA won one of the seats in Narok County during a by-election.
Watu wa Narok hamjambo? Hamjambo tena. Hapa ni Narok. Kwenyewe. Rigiji amefika hapa leo. Leo ni leo, msema kesho. Sasa mnajua mimi nataka niseme asante kwa makaribisho. Wale wa mama wametukaribisha, Mheshimiwa Rupoya, ile vijana wetu wa Moran, wa mama na kila mtu, asanteni sana.
What is really happening? In this video, I want to reveal to you guys why RIGATHI GACHAGUA's popularity in the Maa community is actually worrying President William Samoei Arap Ruto. Before we do that, in case you're watching this channel for the first time, please take a second or two, click the subscribe button. Ladies and gentlemen, why is William Ruto worried? Number one, the Maasai community have always voted for Raila Odinga. In the last election, if you are to look at the figures, all the Maasai-dominated constituencies voted for Raila Odinga. William Ruto is banking on the support of Raila Odinga's strongholds. With the death of Raila Odinga, William Ruto had hoped that the entire Maasai community were going to rally behind him. But from all indications, RIGATHI GACHAGUA is likely to disrupt William Ruto's game plan.
Nyinyi mlikuwa mnatetewa na Raila Odinga tangu zamani. Mwenyezi Mungu amempumzisha. Sasa mimi nataka munipatie hiyo nafasi nikuwe mtetezi ya jamii ya Wamaa. Na mimi nitatetea nyinyi bila uoga na hasa kurudisha mashamba yenu. Kasongo aende asiende.
Because he's really winning the support of the Maa community. For William Ruto to win, he must garner the support of Raila Odinga's strongholds. Remember, we have Edwin Sifuna faction and the Odinga faction, which means even if the Maa community were to vote for William Ruto the way they voted for Raila Odinga, with a split of ODM, some were going to go for Sifuna's camp, some to Oburu's camp. But now we are seeing emergence of RIGATHI GACHAGUA. Number two, William Ruto had hoped to confine RIGATHI GACHAGUA to the mountain. As a matter of fact, when William Ruto engineered the impeachment of RIGATHI GACHAGUA, the intention was one, that the mountain were going to make noise for like 1 or 2 months, and then after that, the noise was going to cool down, and then William Ruto was going to go back to the mountain and win them back. And RIGATHI GACHAGUA was going to be painted as a tribal leader. But what are we seeing? We are seeing RIGATHI GACHAGUA emerging very strongly in the Maa community. If you've been following RIGATHI GACHAGUA's rallies, he was well received at the initial stages in Kajiado. And of course, for those who know Kajiado, you could argue that there is high presence of Kambas there and the Kikuyu nation. But Narok tells a different story. As much as we have the presence of the mountain there, but the truth is majority of them are the Maa community. Ladies and gentlemen, that's something which is really worrying Ruto, because he never intended RIGATHI GACHAGUA to have influence beyond Mount Kenya. But we are now seeing RIGATHI GACHAGUA moving beyond Mount Kenya. Number three, the Maa community is part and parcel of Rift Valley. William Ruto has lost the mountain. The least thing William Ruto would want to happen is for him to also lose part of Rift Valley. And that's why William Ruto has been trying so hard to win Turkana, which traditionally has always voted for Raila Odinga. Part of Rift Valley, but has always voted for Raila Odinga. William Ruto was also hoping that the Maa community were also going to fully support his re-election. But what we are witnessing confirms that indeed the Maa might split the vote unless something is going to happen. So which means Rigathi is locking Ruto out of Mount Kenya, and in Rift Valley, it's also coming in to dig for support there, which for me is very dangerous for William Samoei Arap Ruto, because he had actually intended to confine Rigathi to the mountain and also to ensure that Rift Valley is consolidated. Let me ask you this question. What do you think is William Ruto's game plan for 2027? For me, the game plan was simple before Raila Odinga passed on. But with the passing of Raila Odinga, then a lot of things have changed. You can now not say with certainty that this is now William Ruto's game plan for 2027. Because Rift Valley now, you can't really predict. Because let's see what's happening in Emurua Dikir, which is part of Narok County, but predominantly Kipsigis, or let me put it, Kalenjin, part of it. Rigathi is giving William Ruto serious headache there. The former MP was one of Rigathi Gachagua's allies, and there's a by-election there. So the truth is, Ruto is really worried because Rigathi is now eating into even the Rift Valley. Number 4, you see, if the Maa community were to split the votes or were to give Rigathi Gachagua some votes, what's going to happen is that Rigathi is going to further deny William Ruto votes. I want you to analyze the seats William Ruto got in Kajiado and in Narok in the last election. The ones which did not go to Raila. If you study most of those seats, the ones in Kajiado predominantly where the Kikuyu nation were. So the Maasais and the Kikuyus split the ODM vote. I mean, the Maasais voted for Raila, some voted for UDA, but then the Kikuyu population in those particular constituencies played a key role. If you study the Kikuyu and the Kalenjin in those counties. Now, if, for example, now, Rigathi is going to win the support of the Maa, it means those Maa will now vote with Rigathi. The net effect is that they are going to lock William Ruto from several seats, or DCP will win several seats. And why is this dangerous for William Ruto? It's dangerous for William Ruto because Rigathi has already locked him in the mountain. So he can't really win. William Ruto cannot really say that he commands the mountain. Then you come to Rift Valley and the two counties of Narok and Kajiado, and of course the 7 like Kipia, where the Maa community are. Then they team up with DCP. So they will lock William Ruto from some seats. They will lock Ruto and ODM from some seats. And that's dangerous because for William Ruto, he needs the numbers. Because in 2027, I'm talking of post-2027, assuming William Ruto will be re-elected. If he's going to be re-elected, he will need MPs, probably to try to change the constitution. Yeah, because it's his last term. He might attempt to change the constitution. He might want to rule. He might want to have his way as far as legislative agenda of parliament is concerned. So if the numbers are reduced, he won't be able to achieve that. Of course, there's also the possibility of being impeached. I can assure you, If William Ruto will not garner enough MPs, he can be impeached in the next election, before the next election. I mean, before 2032, even if he were to win. And lastly, politics, I've always explained to you guys here, is a perceptual game. The fact that we are seeing Rigathi Gachagua going to Narok and winning a seat, we are seeing him going to Emurua Dikir and pulling such kind of a crowd. We know Emurua Dikir is predominantly the Kipsigis, or the Kalenjin for that matter. But the truth is, there's also a percentage of the Maa community in Emurua Dikir, which is dangerous. So, perceptionally, it is being perceived now that Rigathi is winning, the Maa community, Ruto is losing. And of course, you can link it to the Maa, not to the Maa, you can link it to the Mau forest politics. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know what you think. That's my take. Till next time, this is Lee Makwiny. Bye-bye.